Yo, guys, Urb'n Barz brings you the best UK reactions to rap, hip hop, and urban music from all around the world. And Hangovergang, I've been gone a few days because I just ended up looking like Alvin and the Chipmunks, and I was advised just to take a rest and to chill. But guys, I've been away for a couple of days, but it's not looking good. And it's not looking good for the music industry because our man, Tom Macdonald, Hangover Gang, has got and dropped a part two for the music industry's screw job. I can't even speak, guys. He's dropped a part two for the music industry screw job. And guys, let's check it out.
Welcome to part two of the biggest industry screw job ever. Now, I've got good news, I've got shocking news, and I've got bad news. Here's a quick recap.
Oh gosh, good news, shocking news, and bad news.
Like everybody else, the physical copies of our new album, The Brave, will not be counted towards the Billboard charts.
That's outrageous, guys. So Tom must have shifted a whole heap load of physical copies. And back in the days, guys, that's what I used to collect, the physical copies, whether it's LPs, CDs, etc., etc. I loved the physical copy. That was what I really loved, collector's pieces, etc. But guys, it seems that's not going to count now on the Billboard charts. So let's see what's going to happen.
The good news is we are number one independently on 8 different Billboard charts with our new album, The Brave. And that doesn't even include solo artist charts.
Well, that's really good. Give yourself a round of applause, Tom. On 8 individual charts in the Billboard. That's shocking.
Towards the Billboard charts. The good news is we are number one independently on 8 different Billboard charts with our new album, The Brave. And that doesn't even include solo artist charts. That's just album charts. It's pretty crazy. Billboard even wrote an article about how incredible we did. So first and foremost, thank you. This is an incredible feat to accomplish for any artist, even major label artists. And we did it independently. And when I say we, I mean me and Adam and Nova and all of you guys. The 8 number ones you see on the charts right now only exist solely because of you. I pointed out what I felt like were injustices. I let you guys know that I felt like we weren't being given a fair shake. Number ones you see on the charts right now only exist solely because of you.
This is why Tom is so good. He interacts with his people all the time, and he has just given us all the thanks. He says, you know, the 8 number ones that he, Nova, Adam have achieved have been because of us, our support for Tom, and it's the interaction between Tom and us. And that is so nice for an artist in his position to always say and give back to the fans. That is just fantastic, guys, and we need to acknowledge that from Tom.
Number ones you see on the charts right now only exist solely because of you. I pointed out what I felt like were injustices. I let you guys know that I felt like we weren't being given a fair shake, and all of you rallied with me.
You see, so Tom has said that, you know, no matter what goes on, Tom is going to involve us and take us with him, whether good or bad. And that's a brilliant thing, guys, because this is the Hangover Gang, yeah? It's the family, Hog Forever, Hog for Life, etc., etc. So Tom isn't just playing platitudes, but he's actually involving us actively in his mission. His mission was to get to number one. And on a level playing field, with a fair shake, with a fair roll of the dice, Tom, you know, Nova and Adam would probably have got to number one. And not only probably got to number one, but probably by a very wide margin too.
This is literally what raging against the machine can accomplish. The most valuable tool of change is one very simple thing: information.
Information, guys. And on my channel, just to do thing here on Urb'n Barz, I try and tell you the truth, guys, good or bad. If things are going well, yep, or if things are going badly, I'll try and tell you the reasons why. And that's the only way that, you know, that we should be. Just be honest and full up with the information with you guys.
This is literally what raging against the machine can accomplish. The most valuable tool of change is one very simple thing: information. I gave you all the information I had about how they were doing us dirty and screwing us on these charts. And let me be very clear, we did not get the change that we were after, but we made a massive impact.
Yes.
And speaking of powerful information, I have more for you.
Guys, just before I just want to rewind what Tom just said there, and I'm going to try and keep quiet because this looks like it's 10 minutes long, so it's going to be a long one, guys.
And let me be very clear, we did not get the change that we were after, but we made a massive impact.
And what Tom said is so true. So many pioneers, whether they're explorers, whether it's in the music, whether it's in anything fashion, whether it's in political, social, economic change, etc., etc. So many pioneers aren't around to actually benefit from their own efforts. So what Tom is saying is the change that he's, the impact that he's made by absolutely shining a light on what's going on is probably going to help other people who come after Tom. So it's so true. The trailblazers, the pioneers, the people at the front of the line, the front of any trend, the front of any whatever, they're not usually ones that benefit, but it's the ones that come after the doors have been opened. It's so true. So Tom may not benefit from this, but everyone else will benefit in due course, hopefully.
And speaking of powerful information, I have more for you. Let's get into the bad and shocking news, shall we? First of all, y'all remember that data collection company we were talking about? The one who reports all of our downloads, streams, and views to Billboard? The one who refused to count our physical albums towards these charts? Well, that data company and Billboard are both owned by the same global media company. I just found that out, which explains why Billboard took zero action when we reported to them that the data collection company was refusing to count our physical sales. We just
Yeah, guys, I'm going to say something to you as well that I've learned from a lot of things from over the time. There are lots and lots of companies that are actually, you think they're major companies, but they're actually subsidiaries of other, even more bigger companies. So all these ones, I'm not going to mention anything, but you think, oh yeah, they're a standalone. They're not. They're actually a subsidiary of something bigger. So it's weird. I can't go into it at the minute now, but I've learned over my dealings, etc., that all is not as it seems wherever you look. So just be wary of that. And what Tom said doesn't make, I can't even think what the word is now. Sorry, since I had all my problems last week, I'm just away with the fairies a little bit, guys. But I'm not shocked. So when Tom says the data collection company is some sort of affiliate with Billboard, it does not shock me. It does not surprise me. And you know what? It probably happens all over the place. Trust me on that, guys. Trust me on that.
I just found that out, which explains why Billboard took zero action when we reported to them that the data collection company was refusing to count our physical sales. We just gotta suck it up and move on. And like I said in my last video, I don't really have a problem with Billboard. Billboard's always treated us really good, but I'd be lying if I said when I found out that they were a part of a massively dysfunctional system that it wasn't extremely frustrating and disheartening. Billboard, I am hella disappointed in you. Anyway, let's get into the specifics about the charts that were released today. Remember that article I talked about that Billboard released about how incredibly successful our new album was? Check this out. It says, and I quote, Tom Macdonald and Adam Calhoun's The Brave bows at #1 on Billboard's top album sales charts, selling 16,000 copies in the US in the week ending March 10th, according to the data collection company. Now, note that they are only referencing digital copies when they're talking about these 16,000 units. It goes on to say this. Elsewhere in the top 10 of top album sales, Dolly Parton's new Run Rose Run starts at #2. One Direction's former #1, 4, re-enters at #3 after a new vinyl release. Now, further down in the article, they reference Dolly Parton and One Direction again. Also, shout out to Dolly Parton. She is a badass and a legend. And my girlfriend Nova loves Nick Jonas, so shout out to One Direction too. Or did Nick Jonas in the Jonas? Whatever, who cares? Anyway, and I quote, of Run Run Rose's 15,500 copies sold, physical sales comprise of 11,500 and digital sales comprise of 4,000. One Direction, who Nick Jonas is not in, One Direction's former #1, 4, returns to top album sales, re-entering at #3 after a new red vinyl pressing was released exclusively via Urban Outfitters. In total, in the week ending March 10th, 4 sold 9,000 copies. Nearly all from vinyl sales. So they're counting Dolly Parton's physical CD sales, and they're counting One Direction's vinyl sales, but they're refusing to count mine and Adam Calhoun's physical CD sales for The Brave?
Tom, it's not a level playing field, and you are shining a light on the industry. I worked in the industry for 10 years, Tom. I know all the little tricks they
Real
play.
freaking cool, guys. Real cool. Now, you might be wondering, Tom, I get it. They wouldn't count your physical CDs, and that's a pain in the butt. But how big of a difference would that really make? Aha! Let me tell you exactly how big of a difference that would make. At the beginning of this video, I told you about the 8 number ones that our new album, The Brave, had racked up. However, there are 2 very important charts that I did not mention. The Billboard Top 200 album chart and the Billboard Independent Albums chart. Let's get into how we did on those charts, shall we? First, let's look at the Billboard Top 200 charts. Easily the most prestigious of all Billboard album charts. Our new album, The Brave, charted at 14. Had our physical albums been accounted for, we would have landed at number 2, with less than 2,000 units separating us from the number 1 spot on the most prestigious Billboard album chart in existence. That's a difference of 12 very important spots. And that's a big friggin' deal, dude. Furthermore, we had planned to release our physical albums and our digital albums on the same day weeks ago. But because of our extremely long, frustrating, and ultimately pointless conversation with the data collection company, we were forced to change an entire 6-week campaign and release our digital albums and physical albums on different dates. Now, this is the craziest part to me. Let's take a look at the Billboard Independent Album charts. Our new album, The Brave, charted at number 4. You might be wondering, how is the biggest independent album with 8 number ones 4th on the independent album charts? Well, I'll tell you. But first you have to understand how Billboard defines independent. And I quote, "Though not clearly defined, an independent record label is generally considered to be any label that is not part of the big 3 record companies, which consist of Sony Music Entertainment, Warner Music Group, and Universal Music Group."
Back in the days, it was EMI, Thorn EMI.
Okay. Billboard cites the following definition for use on their top independent albums charts. For Billboard charting purposes, defining an independent album is done on a title level and based on its distribution. Okay. If an album is sold by an independent distributor, or one of the major labels' independent distribution arms, it is classified as an independent title and can chart on our top independent albums tally. What? Note that this definition does not exclude record labels owned by other large corporations from being classified as independent. Okay, buddy.
This is all legalese, guys. You need something like the Black Law Dictionary to understand all this nonsense.
You can't make this stuff up. You could not write this if you tried. I mean, apparently they did try and they wrote it, and there it is, and it's horse hockey. So to top the independent albums charts, you don't even have to be independent. You know, this whole thing is wrapped up in so much bureaucracy and BS and parent companies and conglomerates and monopolies and blah, blah, blah. It's like, can we just admit at this point that the game is rigged? Major labels.
It's a cartel, Tom. It's the same thing that's been existing in boxing. There's exactly the same thing in music and so many other things.
And mainstream artists have the entire industry on lock. Can't you
cartel.
just give the independent awards to the truly independent artists? This is the independent albums charts. You can do your own research on the chart, but in my mind, you don't have to look any further than number 1. Encanto, distributed by Disney. Disney's independent? Seriously? Walt f***ing Disney? Disney's net worth is $97 billion. They have their own streaming channel on Apple TV. They're one of the most renowned household names on planet Earth. And you're telling me that it's appropriate that Walt Disney competes with us on the same charts? So your answer is, our new album, The Brave, is number 4 on the independent album charts because in no way, shape, or form do these charts accurately represent truly independent artists. The independent artists who write their own music, produce their own music, release their own music, invest all of their time, money, and energy into the success of their own music without any help from any record label of any kind. And no 97 billion Disney dollars either. So don't get me wrong, these 8 number ones are extremely cool. It's a demonstration of how powerful people are when they're up against the machine.
The thing is, people, is that they cannot be seen to have someone like Tom Macdonald, someone like Dax, someone like, you know, whoever other independent artists are out there, like Snow, etc., beat the system. Because once you see that someone like Tom beats the system, then what is the point of having a system? So I understand the logic behind these majors, these conglomerates, these corporates, these global companies, etc., organizations doing what they're doing. But I'm not saying it's right, because it's not. It's absolutely disgusting, in my opinion. It is despicable. But I understand where they're coming from, because they're protecting their own position, their own assets, etc., etc. But the good thing is Tom shine a light on them, and we are seeing just truly how, what's the word? How, I was going to say nefarious. That's probably not even the right word to say. But we can see how truly scheming these people are, just to make certain that they keep their position in the order of things. But the good thing is Tom shine a light in it, and at some point, all their walls will come crumbling down.
But as cool as these 8 number ones may be, they are not the Billboard Top 200. And to go number 1 or number 2 or even top 5 on the Billboard Top 200 can have a real major positive impact on an independent artist's career. These 8 number ones are the industry's way of acknowledging the absolute bare minimum and expecting us to dance around our living rooms in celebration. Look, I'm not being ungrateful, but looking at something from the outside in doesn't always give you an accurate picture of the situation. You can use this quote across the many varied situations that you'll encounter in life. If we celebrate the crumbs, then it is crumbs that we are given.
Oh,
so instead of celebrating...
Guys, I like that. I like that. What's that? If we celebrate the crumbs, then it's crumbs that we are given. That's so true. Because what Tom is saying is, if we cheer and if we affirm the status quo, nothing's going to change, you know. And the people who are in the position to actually put things in place, they're not going to change anything, because they are very happy with the status quo. But the status quo is not what we want. We want a fair shake. And the only way we get a fair shake is if we break up this monopoly. I love that. If we celebrate the crumbs, then it's crumbs that we are given. So literally, you get what you, and it shouldn't be deserved, but in their eyes, you get what you're given. To think about that. Think about it.
And it is crumbs that we are given. So instead of celebrating, I will just say that I am extremely proud of all of us rising to the occasion together. I will say that I am incredibly thankful for each and every single one of you who joined me in this charge against the mainstream music industry. I will say that I will forever cherish these accolades and look back at this situation as a massive success. But I will not celebrate a small victory when we were screwed out of the opportunity to win the war. So the fight continues for all independent musicians everywhere. And the fight will continue until we're given the same appreciation, respect, and acknowledgement that all of the major label artists are given by the powers that be who have deemed them worthy. The music industry has once again found a way to screw the little guy. But that's not a reason to stop. It's a reason to go. One way or another, there will be a positive revolution within the music industry in regards to independent artists. And we'll be able to look back on these videos and this situation and this point in time, and we'll be able to say, hey, I was integral in that. We were the torchbearers that started that revolution. No matter how many losses it takes to get there, we're part of history. Congratulations to everybody out there on these 8 number ones. It's an incredible achievement. I love you all. Thank you once again. It's Hangovergang forever. Peace.
Guys, do you know what? Tom is extremely articulate. He's extremely intelligent, and he portrays and he builds a subject extremely well. He's an extremely good speaker. He makes the unclear very clear. And what Tom is saying is, yes, it's a long road. In a war, there are many battles to be fought. And this is just one battle that we may have not won, but we've made inroads into, well, I was going to say, I'm not going to say it, but literally, this will take time, guys. But if we keep at it and we keep with the faith, we'll get there in the end. My only worry is that potentially maybe Tom won't reap those benefits, you know, in the accolades that he, Nova, Adam Calhoun, and all the other ones, Struggle Jennings, and I can't remember the other guys. Is it something Child? I'm so sorry, I can't remember his name. So I do apologize on that. But guys, we need to keep with the faith, keep pushing Tom, because he's breaking down doors, and all the other independents will benefit off the back of it. So guys, that was part 2 of what I call of the Montreal screw job, basically the music industry screwing the independents. I hope you liked it. I'm chatting from Urb'n Barz. I've been under the weather the last few days, so I'm not quite with it now. So apologies if you didn't understand all I was talking about just now. But guys, I'm 100% behind Tom. Hope you guys are. Hangover Gang forever, guys. And yeah, I'm supporting Tom all the way, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully, you come back to my next reactions, guys. But yeah, I just thought I'd drop that. That was literally released in the last couple of hours. So that's Tom Macdonald just giving us an update and a heads up on part two of what's going on in the music industry. So guys, have a great evening. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And I hope to see you at the next reaction. Urb'n Barz.